I'm Beverly Thomson. As a broadcaster, I tell Canadians news stories every day. The one story I could never have been prepared for was my diagnosis of breast cancer. Thankfully, I had the support of family, friends, colleagues, and viewers standing beside me. I found an entire team of heroes through the Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation. The foundation began when a small group of committed volunteers made a decision they would stand together to ensure that breast cancer was no longer only whispered about and that a focus would be placed on research and education about this disease that affects so many. Today, the foundation is made up of thousands of Canadian heroes standing together to create a future without breast cancer. They are survivors, donors, researchers, and volunteers, people just like you and me. And because the foundation is funded entirely by donors, it's generous people like you who make life-changing research possible. Together, we are ordinary people accomplishing extraordinary things. As you can imagine, it takes more than an ordinary woman to risk experimental treatment in the name of research. It takes a hero. One of these heroes is Deborah.
I was fortunate to participate in a clinical trial related to lymph nodes, the first of its kind in Canada. This pioneering study is going to, over time, set a new course of treatment that will allow women a much improved quality of life. I benefited firsthand from participation in a clinical trial, so I know about the importance of continuing to stretch the boundaries of what we know and applying the best science and research so that we can improve the lives of women with breast cancer.
This research means everything to the people on the front lines. It's not just the 1 in 9 Canadian women who will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetimes. It's the millions of spouses, children, family members, and friends who have been and will be affected by this disease.
7 years ago, when I went through chemo the first time, I was so sick. And today, going through chemo, I drive myself to my treatments and drive myself home. And I do things that evening. I take my kids to ball games.
20 years ago, our treatments were like shotguns. We basically said it's a cancer, and so we're going to give everyone chemotherapy. So today, in fact, what we work towards is a very individualized, tailored approach for women. I began my career in breast cancer a quarter of a century ago, and at that time there were very few therapies that one offered women. Only 1 in 4 women survive breast cancer. And today, 3 out of 4 women anticipating long-term survival from breast cancer. It's a remarkable achievement, and we really owe it to logical, well-funded, well-performed research. And the Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation has stayed true to the idea that every aspect of breast cancer needs to be unearthed and studied so that the outcomes in all women can be improved.
Researchers like Dr. Verma are our unsung heroes. They work behind the scenes in laboratories, hospitals, and universities right across this country, finding better ways to prevent, diagnose, and treat cancer. And when you and I stand behind their research, we can make incredible breakthroughs possible.
Donors make a difference. They clearly do. In that research that's been pioneered by Jean-Philippe Pignon has actually happened. Rather than radiating the entire breast and all that normal tissue that goes with it, he was able to radiate just a small area and produce exceptionally good results. Typically, a woman who undergoes regular radiation therapy has many side effects. She's debilitated for a long time. Dr. Pignon's therapy has to date produced no major side effects, and women return to work and to their lives very quickly indeed.
Your investment today will continue to transform women's experiences with breast cancer, whether you're preventing the disease or ensuring the people affected get the treatment and care that they deserve. But progress won't be possible if we stand alone. Each woman diagnosed with breast cancer requires her own team of heroes, a team of healthcare professionals, a team of researchers, and most importantly, a team of supporters. Everyone you've met today belongs to the same team. We're all supporters who stand together and stand strong.
Because I had so much support from so many people across the country, I started making a list of the people that were sending cards and emails. And when I got up to about 350 names on my list, I decided this is quite an army that I had assembled. And I visualized all of those people. Looking at the names on my list, I could see their faces, and I visualized all of us linking our arms, forming, the front line of the army, and pushing that cancer enemy back as far as we could possibly push it.
Together, we will realize Kathy Lynn's dream and stand up against this disease. One by one, we will link our arms together, becoming much stronger than we ever could be standing alone.
Donating to the Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation gets translated enormously into action. Its sole interest is to stay tuned to a vision that is a future without breast cancer. And so everything that it sort of orients itself to is research and care delivery to try and reduce the burden of breast cancer. And donor support to the Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation helps that vision become reality.
On behalf of all women, I urge you to give as generously as you can today.